I just got so pissed off with AI that I thought I have to record a video straight away. A while ago, I decided to use AI to help me build something new because it took my job. So it should pay it back. It would be only fair. At the beginning, I was super excited. It was amazing. It came up with the name for my channel, which I still love. It came up with titles for the videos, for thumbnails, with the scripts and all that. Every time I read it, I was, wow, this is unbelievable. This is going to make it so easy. It just gives you everything on the plate, ready just to say success guaranteed. And then guess what? I read the script. I thought it was fantastic. I love the wording, the way it put it. Everything was impeccable. But I started to memorize it. The more I memorized it, the more I realized that it's like learning a poem by heart and it's not going to work. Yet, every time I used it, it was the same story. It was frustrating. I kept starting over and over again. I don't know how many times. I was talking and then was like, I got stuck. So I stopped, started over again, and it didn't get any better because I still had that script in my head and some of the words, some of the sentences, and I wanted really to make it good. I kept using it because I thought it's better than me. It's better than what I came up with. Whilst I still think that it's fantastic for titles and for thumbnails, it sometimes just goes overboard. I call it AI on steroids. It not only gives you a lot straight away without being asked. When you give it permission once, when you say, yes, give me the script, it gives you the script every time. And then, of course, you start reading it, and then you're not free anymore to say what you want to say. As somebody I watched on YouTube on the same subject said, then it's not you. It's Grok or it's ChatGPT or Gemini. I tried all three and I stuck to Grok for the moment. But I think I'm going to see how the others go because at some point it acted as if it was my coach. When I gave it some information, it knew my name, so it would call me Anya and it would ask me, hi Anya, and how are you doing? How did you sleep? You're fantastic. Go ahead, legend. Just go out there, do it. At the beginning, I really thought it was funny. And I said to my partner, Eamon, you know what? It's like having your private coach because you're sitting at your computer or your phone and then he's there or she's there. I don't know. I kept saying he because somehow it resonates more with me, but it could be equally she. No matter if you wake up middle of the night and you decide this is time to work, this is time to record something, you can ask it. And it's amazing. For the price of $30 a month, I subscribe to Supergrok. I got to the point where I had to close one chat and open another one because I was really annoyed with the almost ADHD kind of approach. And I asked in the other chat, how is it possible that you ask the same question and you get different answers? And it replied, now it's it, that it is like a different brain. So every chat you start, it's a different brain. And that different brain will process your question in a different way. Apparently, in ChatGPT, you can choose the narrative. Do you want it to be enthusiastic or more balanced or more reserved and not so over the moon? And I think this is good because it can backfire at you. And then from being super excited, I went to being super pissed off. And I had to start over and over again a new conversation to get where I wanted to be. And yet, I came to the conclusion yesterday after recording my freedom video that was a disaster. I listened to AI and I had that idea myself to record it by the ocean, but I said, "What do you think?" It said, "Oh, yes, do it. It will be fantastic. It's a freedom subject. So the waves, the ocean in the background, the rocks. It's amazing." I thought, okay, I don't live far from the ocean, so I go and do it. And it's not easy. First of all, you have to get there. It's not like 1 minute. The ground is rocky. It was windy. The tripod was blowing over. I couldn't set the sound right. I was struggling. Finally, I started to record and it just didn't flow. I was getting stuck after one sentence. I was getting uh, over and over again. I don't know how many times I started, probably 15. Then I recorded something that wasn't great. I came home, I uploaded it to Descript. I told my partner, listen, I'm not happy with that. And he said, just edit it, see how it came out, and put it up anyway. So I did that. It was a disaster. It was so unnatural. I had to edit so many parts out and didn't think of the fact that the background was moving. And that gave a very jumpy picture in the end. It was quite visible that the waves behind me were different. I think I got 9.5 minutes out of 25. You can imagine how many things I had to cut out. And I played it, and Eamon said, "No, don't put it up. It's terrible." And I was like, oh, shit. I said on my channel I'm going to put up videos on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I can't change it now to a Saturday because then it will be Saturday and Sunday. So I have to stick to my plan because otherwise the algorithm will be unhappy and I'll maybe kill the momentum of my channel. I said, okay, I'm going to record it again. And I did it on our terrace and it wasn't great either. It was not flowing the way I wanted. It was maybe a little bit more natural, but still, it wasn't like talking to a friend about something. It wasn't me talking in my normal speed with my hands and all that. I was sitting like that. And I showed it to Eamon again because he's my advisor, number one and only. And he said, "Why are you not moving? Why are you so stiff? You're not so stiff normally. It's very unnatural." And I'm thinking, shit, it's Friday midday. We're having somebody over for dinner tonight. I still want to bake a cake, cook, and I have to edit that bloody video. I said, I'm not going to shoot another one. And he said, you know what? Just shoot one and say what you just told me a minute ago. That's what I did. And that's what's at the beginning of my big freedom video. But it was actually good because otherwise I wouldn't have shot this video being so emotional and falling for the AI magic. This is just a warning for anybody who's using it not to go overboard. If you give it not enough information, it gives you bullshit. For example, when I told it I'm 52, when I was building my channel and the description and all that, it said, oh, empty nest, kids are left. I said, no, I don't have kids. It's not an empty nest. It assumes a certain cliche that every woman after 50 has probably adult kids and they're left home and she feels now lonely and all that. I had to give it more information about myself, about my life, in order to get a better description. But when I gave it too much, it went on steroids. The tricky bit is to find a balance between giving it enough and not too much and not losing yourself in the process. Because if you start looking at scripts and memorizing and all that, you completely lose your true self and the way you normally talk. Now I talk the way I normally talk. This is the speed, the hands. After my first video, I tried to make it perfect because I realized I was moving my head a lot and I was slow. I think this was because I was thinking too much. I wasn't natural. The second one was a bit better, but I was still very conscious of my head movements and I tried to keep it straight. The third was also a bit, yeah, not me. This is the fourth, no, the fifth. Sorry, I recorded one more. I'll see if I'm going to post or not. But this one is the most real as it's emotional. I'm really pissed off and I thought I used that momentum to record something because then it's going to be real. Be aware of AI. That's my message of this video, or that's my conclusion. It's great. It can be helpful with hashtags, with simple things, but don't use it for anything else. Because once you've read the script, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. At least in my case, it's still stuck somewhere in my head. And I kept going back to the words, thinking, oh, that was a really good transition from one part to the other, and I'm going to use that. But I would have never used it talking to my friend. That's the truth. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself because of all the emotions. My name is Anya. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for watching. I hope to see you again soon.